Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use this steamer. It's a pretty standard steamer, very inexpensive, easy to purchase. It's pretty much at every store you can go to. I think this particular machine, I think this one was purchased at Walgreens. And so what I'm going to do is this video is going to basically show you the power of steaming and how it's so incredibly basic, but we tend to forget the power that lies within some of the most simple things we can do for ourselves. It's not always a complicated situation. A lot of times it's really just using what you have and using it to the best of your ability. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate, as you see here on the table, I have some salt here, some iodized salt. And I also have some, this water was boiled. So this is fresh water here, ready to go. I added some boiled water earlier, so there's a little bit more in there. So earlier meaning as in the last 10 minutes. So I just wanted to kind of get set up before I even start doing the video. But I have a little more water here just in case I need more water to get this thing going. You can see the water level here is not as much. You don't really need a whole bunch of water. I think there might even be an indicator when you open this thing up. I haven't used this in a while, so thankfully I've been pretty good. I haven't had any problems really with my sinuses, but for those out there that are tuning on to this video, just know that if you're dealing with, like, again, Eustachian Tube Dysfunction, tinnitus, or even just you have ear problems in general, fluid buildup, things like that, the clicking sounds, I'm going to get into what some of those things could mean to you and what they could really be. But right now, this is strictly for those out there that are dealing more so with like fluid buildup. Let's just be honest. If you can get good steam into your system, if you can get good steam into your body, it's only going to help improve you in general. So like your breathing's going to be better. You're just going to have a better way of healing the body by just simply breathing. It's that simple. Getting the airways opened up is going to help with all these other areas that you're probably facing and dealing with. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I don't want to babble too long. So what we have here is we have water, as I mentioned before, we have water that's been boiled over for about 10-15 minutes. Let it cool off. You don't need it real hot at all because this thing's going to get very, very hot. So what you have here is when you purchase this, you have a container, obviously, to put the water in. And then you have this, it's basically like a steamer device here that gets really, really hot. I'm trying to make sure all the water is off of here. So what I'm going to do is you don't necessarily need the salt, but I recommend using the salt because the salt is really going to put those vapors up. It's really going to kick in that steam, because when you use it without the salt, it's not going to be as powerful. You're not going to notice a lot of the steam coming up. So I always recommend get some good salt. I usually use pink Himalayan salt, but I ran out, so I'm using just your basic table iodized table salt, which is still good. It's still good to get that up there into your nasal passages. So I'm going to add a little water here. I'm going to put this thing to the side. And this is an older model. This is kind of an older school model. I'm sure there's a lot more fancier ones, but this one, look, I'm going to tell you this: if it's not broke, don't fix it. This thing works tremendously well. I've had it for about 8 years now, and it's never stalled on me, never did any problems. So I'm hoping that while this video is rolling, it still does what it's been doing for 8 years or more, actually. So I'm going to just take my boiled water here that's been sitting for a little bit. I'm going to pour it right in there. Good level there. I might not even need all of this water, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Pour all of it in there. And don't worry too much about the water levels. I'm just gonna set that down there. And so this is a good amount. So as you can see here, you can kind of see where it goes. It's not all the way up here. It's about halfway, which is fine. That's the perfect amount. This should last, with the steamer going, I would say this should last a good hour, maybe even more. I would say a good hour and a half of just nonstop steam. It works really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this device here, and before I do so, I'm going to add my salt. So let me just get situated here. So I don't measure it. You can if you really want to. I don't really measure it. I just kind of play it by eye, play it by ear, however you want to call it. Just eye it a little bit. So you just take a little salt, put it in there. It's a good amount though, by the way. And so That's good to start. And if you need to add more, definitely add more. But this is going to help all of you out there who you just don't have any moisture in your nasal passages. It's just dry. Either it's dried out or you have fluid buildup and you have mucus impacting all your nasal passages, your ears, and you're just overflowed pretty much. You need to get some good steam in there to kind of loosen everything up, because at this point we're troubleshooting. So if you've landed on this video and you don't know yet if you have Eustachian tube dysfunction, or you know you have it, this is going to help regardless if you have it or don't have it. This is something that we should just do regardless. I feel if you have the time to do it. I haven't made much time to do it, but now that I'm doing this video, I think I'm going to start. So I'm going to go ahead and place this inside. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and spin this around your way. Now, this thing requires it. There's no on and off switch on this one. That's why I said it's a little older model. So I need to go plug it up. So give me 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to fire it up. Okay, so it's all plugged up now. I got it all plugged up. You'll notice there's a little bit of a light right here. It's probably hard to see it from over here, but there's a little bit of orangish reddish light to tell you, hey, be careful. It's activated. So be careful when you're, I'm going to turn it your way, and because I don't want that thing to be blowing in my direction. So anyways, I'll turn it to the side. It's actually easier because of the cable right here. So we're just going to sit. It's heating up as we speak. It takes a little bit of time. I would say it takes maybe less than 5 minutes, even less than that. So look here. You'll start to see that with that salt in here, and usually what I do is, so the salt is not just caked up, sometimes, got to be very careful, by the way, doing this, shake it up a little. The best would be to do it before you plug it in, but it won't hurt you. I mean, we're all adults here, right? Hopefully. So, little shaking up there, and you'll start to see this steam kick up, and it's really good. I'm blowing it in this direction, but I guess I should put it in my direction. I don't want to waste it. I'm just gonna spin it around. Now the actual unit itself here, the container doesn't actually get hot, which is nice because you can kind of maneuver it whatever direction you want. Of course, the red part here, do not touch that part because it's blaring hot right now. But you'll see, hopefully the video is picking this up here. This steam it's just amazing. It's really good for your body. It's good for the lungs. It's good for the nasal passages. It's good for just your skin. It's good to keep moisture on there, humid, moist heat going across your nasal passages and into your face there. And then you just literally just will sit here and do this. I would say stay under this thing for like 10 minutes if you can, even longer. Sometimes I put this on and I'm here for 30 minutes. I'm just sitting here listening to music, or watching something on TV or whatever it is, and literally letting this thing just go for 30 minutes at a time. And it's very powerful, honestly. Look at that. It's going to even get more than this as it starts to heat up. When it begins to heat up a little more, yeah, you'll see it. It'll really be kicking out the steam, because humidifiers are extremely essential for not only just your well-being, but just your mood. Just adjust it a little bit. It doesn't get too hot right here, really, but in the tip here where it's blowing out, yeah, you don't want to be touching that. So the purpose of this video is to remind you all, if you haven't done this yet, try to do this. It's a really inexpensive device. I don't know what this particular model costs. As of now, it's been like 8 years or so, but I would say they're anywhere in the range between $30 and $50. I'm just throwing it, maybe even less than that, maybe $20 to $40. You won't pay much more than that. And if they are more than that, I apologize, because I've been out of the humidifier shopping game for quite some time. But this one works well. I think I only spent $20 on this one, or $25 on this one. And right now, you just feel a sense of relaxation, letting that steam just humidify the entire space of where you are. Preferably, what you want to do is you want to have this in a smaller room, just because it's going to cover more ground, and you'll be able to enjoy more of the humidifier at a smaller space. And so What you just saw there is it getting really hot right now. So this is where it's going to really kick in the steam. But look at that. So it's really just getting back to the basics. It's something I say every video. I'll say it in this video as well. You really got to remember these simple things. It's not always the complicated thing that makes the difference. It's the least complicated thing over a longer period of consistent time. So take something like as simple as a humidifier and a nice organic ginger drink, and do those things over a long period of time consistently, and you'll realize you'll see more benefits than if you took something super complicated, went into the deep archives of some discussion about how to get rid of whatever you're dealing with, and you wind up getting more anxiety because you're trying to figure out this whole new concept rather than to go back to the basics, but do the basics well enough that it's impactful. That's really the whole goal here, is to take very simple practices and expand it over time. Think about everything in the world right now. Everything in the world right now that's been successful has been something very common, very basic, nothing very detailed, not complicated at all. But take it and do it with intention and do it consistently, and you'll see that that very basic thing is actually more powerful than you could have ever imagined. Like, think of our world of technology and our world of businesses out there. Like, for example, something basic like delivering food that's been around for many years, but someone took a very basic concept and improved on it and made it better, more efficient. And now look at it. It's almost like they're the mega, the services that are out there like DoorDash and Uber Eats. Those things are very, very basic. Grab food from a store, take it to someone. That's it. So again, when you're healing, similar concept. You've been told probably by your grandmother for many years, do this remedy, do that remedy. Those things are not lost. Those things are not inefficient. It's just we complicated things as we gotten older. And so I think if you take some of those things that you learned as a kid, but do it more intentionally and do it consistently and do it with a better mindset about it. Be positive that it's going to work, and you'll find the healing that way. This is not a new discovery, but you'll be surprised when I mention doing a steaming or humidifying sessions with people. They're like, "Whoa, I haven't even tried that yet." So again, very common, very basic, but consistently. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this humidifier. I got a long time left. As you can see, the water levels hasn't really moved at all. This thing will, again, it lasts a good hour, probably longer. I put quite a bit this time. I even do less than half sometimes, because I know, if I do it for my daughter or whatnot, she's stuffed up. I don't put that much water in it, but this one's going to be going for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this for the next 30 minutes or so and let it just blow into the air and clean out the air. And I'm telling you, doing this, I would say a couple times a week at least. If you can commit a couple times a week, your body is really going to see the benefits, not just the inside, but the outside as well. The skin is just nourishes off of this kind of treatment here. So this is good for just skin. So, all right. I hope this video was very helpful for you. If it was, please take time to subscribe to the channel. I try to bring content as often as possible. But in the meantime, I'm going to step out of the jayewellness studio and leave you in good hands with this video. Like anything else, folks, we are here to simply go back to the basics. Take care, everybody.